Hi, I am Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel. I want to invite you to watch my upcoming adventures on Deadites on Deck on YouTube.
Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel, the cutest rockin' squirrel in the universe. He wears his hair long, he plays a mean guitar. After midnight he performs on a tree branch stage. He is brave, he is outrageous, he is Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel. He will steal your heart and eat all your pecans. He loves cuddling in his fleece when bedtime comes calling. Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel, the cutest rockin' squirrel in the universe. Take out the trash. Why? There might be something delicious in all that slop. Put out the air fresheners. Place a clothespin on your nose. Let's dig into the cream of the crop. Celluloid trash. It stinks, but we must watch. Celluloid trash. It stinks, but we must watch.
Howdy, gang, and welcome to yet another edition of Celluloid Trash. We're going to get to the two movies at hand here in just a little bit. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about Howling 2 from 1986, and a film that maybe not a lot of you have heard about called Iced from 1988. I just went back and rewatched Howling a little bit, or Howling 2 rather, a little bit before I came on the stream. And Steve and I watched Iced not very long ago. So I didn't go back and rewatch that one, but I remember enough about it to talk about it. So get some housekeeping stuff out of the way first. I got a ton of stuff up on new designs and all that jazz on the deaditesondeck.com horror shop at deaditesondeck.com. It's really easy. If you can remember the name of my channel, you can certainly remember the name of the shop. But to help you out, I am going to put the web or the URL in the chat there. Be sure to tell them Poe sent you. Poe is, of course, the official mascot of the Deadites on Deck horror shop. The other mascot actually I have a couple other mascots. RJ is the official friendly monster movie Munchies mascot. I will be doing a movie Munchies here very, very soon. And for those of you that are in there or in here right now, or that watch this on the replay, I'm going to give y'all a little teaser. This is going to take place on October 26th on a Sunday. And let's just put a little picture up there. If you can't tell, that is a cartoon Ozzy Osbourne. And for those of you that watch the Osbournes, there was an episode almost completely dedicated to Ozzy eating burritos from Chipotle, especially. So he was apparently he was a big fan of burritos. And so on October 26th, the Sunday before Halloween, I am going to be doing Movie Munchies for Ozzy's October Burrito. And you may say, well, gee, Dana, this doesn't have anything to do with movies, right? Well, I know this is a stretch, folks, but I really wanted to do these burritos. This is a kind of trick or treat from 1986 Aussie mashup movie munchies for burritos. Okay. I even have on here Trick or Treat Kitties from the Prince of Darkness. So if y'all are excited about burritos, if you're excited about Ozzy Osbourne, if you're even excited about movie munchies, be sure to be on the lookout for that video to drop at some point Sunday, October 26th. Okay. See, this is what you get the lowdown on stuff in advance whenever you come into my streams, folks. Hey, Gory Tiger. So it kind of behooves y'all to be in here and check out stuff. So got a movie munchies coming up on October 26th. I know I haven't done one in a long while, but I'm looking forward to having some burritos. And I have done my research, and apparently fans of Ozzy Osbourne have come up with what they think his burrito of choice was. So that's the one I'm going to be making. And may add a few little things to it for my liking. And so we're going to have a lot of fun that day making Ozzy's October burritos. So look forward to that. But to get back to the horror shop, I have put a ton of new designs and stuff like that on the site. You know, the Nighty Nightmare sleep shirts are on there now. There's some Ozzy Osbourne tribute designs. There's Ozzy the Wonder Swirl designs. There's all kinds of designs on there. So be sure to go to deaditesondeck.com and check all of that out. There's so much new stuff on there that I am going to do a special live stream and or video showing off some of this stuff. Okay. So that you guys and gals don't forget about it. And I actually have a design. I have a Poe design on today in this bright sunny yellow shirt to kind of show off my work. So there's that. Tomorrow, I am planning on doing a savage debate, talking about the best rock and roll horror film of all time. And my answer may surprise a lot of you. Some of you may think that you know which one I'm going to say. So it might shock and surprise you. I'm not sure about Wednesday. Wednesday might be when I do that special blowout where I show all the new items and new designs on deaditesondeck.com, so that you guys can get a first-hand viewing of all of that stuff. But I invite you to go to deaditesondeck.com at any time and check out all the stuff that we have to offer on there. Okay. And if you hear that boom, people around here have to set off fireworks all the time. It doesn't matter what holiday it is. They bang, crash, boom. You know, it used to be just 4th of July, right? Now it's every daggone holiday. So you may hear some bangs. It may make me jump because I thought maybe in our neighborhood we were going to get by without having this. But people are idiots and they ain't got any sense. They got to make loud noises every little whip stitch. So anyway, hopefully I won't jump too much and there won't be too much of this stuff because it's going to scare my dogs too. And I don't like that crap. So anyways, Let's see what else we got coming up. Darcy, I know, baby. Come here. And they got the loud shit too. I mean, it's like, why can't you just, do something quietly? They don't believe in that, do they, Darcy? Thursday will be, of course, another They're All Messed Up. I'll be talking about a couple more slasher movies and talking about the kills in them, talking a little bit about the plot of them. Friday, I'm getting really aggravated with that. Y'all hear that shit? I hope this kind of stuff is not going on in y'all's neighborhoods. I hope it's just idiots in Louisville that, that have to do this kind of crap. Because it's terrifying my dogs. I don't like it at all. Friday, we will be having Evil Dead Chicks Slasher Fest. Now, I'm going to say this again, folks. Viewer discretion is advised. Please do not have your children in there if you're watching along with these movies, okay? Because these are going to be the original Last House on the Left and the original I Spit on Your Grave, not kids' films by any stretch of the imagination, okay? And I am not kidding about this, folks. If you have never seen these two films, please do your homework. Look into it. These are hardcore, folks. And I don't mean hardcore porn. I mean the subject matter is hardcore. And the last time I even dared to talk about movies like these, talk about them, not, we weren't watching them. I wasn't talking real in depth about them. I kind of got crapped on for talking about them. So I'm warning you now, so that hopefully I don't have any complaints later on. Okay. So there will be a viewer discretion disclaimer before we get started. Friday night, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time. If people want to complain after that, I mean, they're free to do so. But all I can say is, I told you so. I warned you way in advance. I'm not trying to be mean and nasty about this. It's just that I've been, told everything from, pretty much you shouldn't be talking about that stuff on your channel, to you're going to get your channel janked, to all kinds of things. So, okay. Well noted. So, but I'm choosing to do this as part of Evil Dead Chicks Slasher Fest. And because there is, there are slasher elements to these folks. Okay. So a little bit ahead in time, October 17th, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern time, because we're going to be watching 3 movies that night. This is going to be Evil Dead Chicks Hideous Halloween Slumber Party. And we're going to be watching Halloween, the original Halloween from 1978, the original Halloween 2, and Halloween 3 with Tom Atkins. Going to be a lot of fun. Bring your popcorn, your pizza, and your soft drinks and all of that. So we're looking forward to, or I'm looking forward to having a great time, especially that night. All right. So got a few housekeeping things out of the way. So let's go ahead and get started talking about the movies at hand now that I've talked for almost 15 minutes. So the first one, this is Steve's copy, his 4K copy of Howling 2, Your Sister is a Werewolf, folks. Okay. I never did think any of the Howling sequels were very good after the first Howling. I liked the original Howling. I thought it was fantastic. But when we got to the end of it, of course, and if you haven't seen the first Howling, please plug your ears or walk away or do something, okay? Because I don't want to give it away. But, folks, the truth of the matter is, it's such an old movie. that I really don't think I should have to warn people, but I will. I will be nice. But at the end of the Howling, Dee Wallace's character of Karen turns into a werewolf on camera, and she's a news reporter. Okay. Um, so in Howling 2, they're having her funeral, and her brother Ben is there with his his lady Jenny, and I don't know if they are married or I never was really sure if they were married at that time or they were boyfriend or girlfriend. They were uh, fiancés or what exactly, but they had a relationship. Okay. So they are approached by Christopher Lee's character of Stefan, who tells them, or tells Ben in particular, that Karen is a werewolf and they need to stop her from, you know, being, kind of like a Jack told David that he would be, in limbo forever and ever and ever, the people that were killed by the werewolves. But basically, she would be tortured and never be able to rest because she was a werewolf, unless they allowed him to help them. So, unfortunately, after that is all taken care of, there's still some werewolves to contend with, um, led by Sybil Danning. And you guys that are fans of Sybil Danning and her figure at that time, you get to see a lot of it. A lot of it. Okay. Furry and unfurry. I will say that. So the movie starts out with Christopher Lee being in front of this badly composed, I guess, backdrop would be the way to say it. And then we get into the movie. Now, a lot of parts of the movie were fun, but I would definitely not call it a good, well-made movie by any stretch of the imagination. Okay. But if you like the quirky kind of werewolf films, and quirky, by quirky, I don't mean like American Werewolf in London with some comedic stuff in it. This goes quite a bit beyond that. You have a lot of quirky, weird characters in it. You have this band that keeps playing this song. I'm not sure if it's called Howling or what, but it's in the pale, pale light, pale, pale light. You keep hearing that song over and over and over and over again by this band. And I'm not saying it's a bad song, but you just hear it so much in the movie. I think the band plays maybe one other song in the film. And you've got Sybil Danning ripping her clothes off at the drop of a hat. You've got people, getting wolfy all the time. You got some pretty good gore effects in this. But it's still not one that I want to go back to. It's not as bad as the later sequels for the Howling series. And anybody that has followed the Howling series for very long know that this series went way, way off the rails the further it went on. Even going so far as at one point to have line dancing werewolves. I hate to say I draw the line anywhere, but with line dancing werewolves, come on. I like your more traditional vampires. Werewolves, sorry. And this, I guess, was kind of the start of that, but it still had some class. I mean, you had Christopher Lee in there. And I love Christopher Lee, right? I don't mind Sybil dating, but she's not my favorite person in the world to watch. I don't think Sybil dating, this is my honest opinion and my opinion only, but I don't think that Sybil Danning had a lot going for her other than her body, which they made abundant use of in this film. Plus, some of the other women made abundant use of their bodies in this film. But not an absolutely horrible, unwatchable film. It had its entertaining qualities. Okay. I don't know that I would go so far as to call this so much celluloid trash as some of the other films that I've talked about on these streams. But I'm going to go ahead and let you know what my rating is on this. I mean, I'll at least give it 4 deadites out of 5 because it was entertaining enough, had some good gore, had some good special effects in it, and some of the werewolves look pretty cool in it. And it was entertaining. I mean, it was not boring in any way, shape, or form, folks. Okay. All right. So, the other film, I don't actually have a physical copy of, but this is Iced from 1988. And this stars Deborah DeLiso from Slumber Party Massacre. And there's another Slumber Party Massacre alumni who I think is both in this and directed it. And I think, gosh, is it the guy that played Neil? Oh, I'm going to have to look it up because I can't. I think it was the one that played Neil, but I could be wrong. I could have the guys mixed up. Give me just 1 second here, folks. Let's take a look here. Yeah, it's Joseph Allen Johnson or Joe Johnson who played Neil, who actually, I believe he directed this and starred in it. Yeah. Well, no, he was the writer for it. Sorry, folks. Joseph Johnson or Joe Johnson was the writer for this. Director was Jeff Whitney. So this is basically your standard run of the mill bad slasher movie. But again, it's fun. Deborah DeLiso, she's a pretty decent actress. I didn't mind her in Slumber Party Massacre. I didn't mind her in Ice. Some of these other people in this, not so hot as far as acting. I liked a lot of the kills in this. It was pretty creative. And like I said, you have 2 alumni from Slumber Party Massacre, Deborah DeLiso and Joe Johnson, who Joe Johnson was in the film and also wrote the film as well. I don't know why I keep thinking he directed it, but so this tells the story of a group of childhood friends. We've all seen and heard that before. They are invited to an opening of a real ritzy ski resort, unaware that an old nemesis has plans to murder them all. Okay, so that's your basic story. Doesn't get any deeper than that. And Joe Johnson does play Alex Bourne in the film, and Deborah DeLiso plays Trina in this. And of course, everybody is much older than they're actually trying to play in this as well. a fun little slasher film. I don't have real bad things to say about it, other than the acting is really not that great. But what acting is in a slasher movie, especially these 80s slasher movies, not, those are few and far between that have great acting. But we do have good, pretty decent effects in this. I like some of the kills in it. Um, the storyline was okay. Um, and I enjoyed watching it again. I think I've seen it one other time prior to me and Steve watching it here recently. And, I was like, yeah, this is enjoyable. This is it's one of those fun little time wasters. And when I say that, that doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. It just means that, you don't have to think a lot about it. You on a lazy Sunday afternoon, or in this case, Monday afternoon, when you're off on Labor Day, um, it could be something that you might want to just put in and watch. It is available on AMC Plus. It may be available on YouTube and Tubi. I would definitely check those outlets if you don't already subscribe to AMC Plus. Um, Howling 2, that may be one that you might be able to find on YouTube and Tubi. I'm not really sure. But I'm going to go ahead and give Iced a rating, and I'm going to give it 4 deadites out of 5 because fun wise, slasher wise, it ain't too bad. Okay. So I definitely say check that out if you feel so inclined. Um, you could do a lot worse with with either one of these movies, than to watch either one of these that I've talked about tonight. Um, so, gang, like I say, I don't usually plan on these being super, super long. I just basically I get on here, talk a little bit about the movies, and give my rating, and that's what this celluloid trash series is supposed to be about. Now, next time I will be talking about Killer Clowns from Outer Space from 1988 and Killer Workout from 1986. So you guys and gals can look forward to all of that coming up next Monday. I hope everybody has had a fantastic and restful Labor Day. And I hope many, if not all of you, got to have a 3-day weekend like me and Steve did. And it's back to the grind tomorrow, unfortunately, but we're going to make it through. We only have, unless you have to work the weekend, which I'm sorry if you have to work the weekend. And we're getting ever closer to Horror Hound weekend, which is not this weekend, but I believe the following weekend. I will either be gone for the whole weekend or on Saturday. That remains to be seen. I got to work out all the details. So hopefully I'll be able to do some stuff prior to Horror Hound weekend, and also actually get some footage from inside of Horror Hound weekend this time. I do have media passes again. But I'm going to call it a day for now, or a night. And as always, I'm off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody, of course, as I always do before I get off of here for the night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Have a fantastic rest of your Monday night, folks. Hopefully it's restful. Hopefully you don't have idiots setting off fireworks where you are. But also, blast some Aussie if you feel so inclined, and be sure to live the Aussie way. And by that I mean live your life in the present, move forward in the future. Don't stay stuck in the past, folks. And don't ever give up on your dreams. I love each and every one of you folks out there, and I'll see everybody next time.